Tomas Ernberg, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you for
coming. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
You're a newbie in India, but one who's worked for 18 years at Volvo.
Correct.
Has India screamed opportunity at you or thrown challenges?
I think a little bit of both. A lot of challenges and a lot of opportunities, for sure.
Yeah?
Yes.
But when you were told that you're going to move to India, what was your first reaction?
First reaction would be what a great opportunity to be part and to be living in a country where everybody's talking about the growth in India, and to actually be here and experience and be part of that was just so exciting. When
you see, a market like India vis-a-vis UAE, which is where you're going to come from, right?
Yes.
UAE is sort of a very, very dynamic market. People are constantly changing cars. In India, the concept of changing a car takes a little time before we can, think of the next car. Do you think that's something that's set to change about India? Or how do you compare the markets?
If I would look at per car capita versus the UAE, I would think that the India has really very far way to go. So still today you have around 1% of the total industry volume in India is in the luxury segment.
Yeah.
But if you go to the Middle East, perhaps you would see around the 25% penetration of luxury cars.
Yeah.
So I think India has a great growth opportunity in that sense.
And luxury is where Volvo wants to focus on right now?
That's correct.
So you've got a sports utility vehicle in place here in the country. What has been the response like?
We launched the car in 2010,
yeah.
And it's our best-selling car. It has received tremendous feedback from the automotive journalists who test the car versus vis-a-vis the competition.
Yeah.
And I would say almost every time we come out as the winner. And till date we have received around 8 Indian awards for that specific car.
So what do you think is the winning proposition for Volvo as a company here in Indian context? Because obviously everyone is competition and everyone wants a pie of this large market.
I think in this market it's not an easy market. You'll have to focus a lot. So I think what we have to do is focus on success stories. Because India is so huge and so tremendous, different things would work in different parts of India. So in one part of the city or one part of the country, perhaps we would need to focus on a specific sedan model. Another part would be an XC90 model.
Yeah.
Taxes are different in different states. The bureaucracy is different in different states. So really to sit down and focus on success stories around different parts of India.
Let's talk about putting it on the record. For Volvo, how big a market is India?
Last year we ended up around 320 units called car sales. This year we're aiming for more than 800 cars.
Wow. So that's a huge jump given that the kind of outlook we've got from the automotive body SIAM, that outlook has gone from a double digit to a minus figure. Correct. So it's exactly the opposite in terms of your growth projection. Correct.
I mean, we're here to gain segment shares. So we're going to give the competition a fight for the market that's there. I think we have a winning proposition with the current plans that we have in place. So for sure, if I say 800, I think would also put as a minimum target, I would like to do more than that. Okay. Long-term growth, we're looking at a growth around 20,000 cars. Where
do you think that, India stands from a Volvo's global perception point of view? At the end of the day, the world market is what Volvo wants to see, but it's got touch points, the emerging markets. Where does Volvo see India going in the next 5 years?
For the last couple of months, we've been taking India very seriously. So we have from our head office in Gothenburg has said that we have to take India very seriously. I think India will be perhaps one of the fastest, if not the fastest growing market for Volvo cars. Okay. In terms of percentage, but also in the end to get a 15% segment share of the luxury segment, which ultimately comes around 20,000 units, and that's a big amount for Volvo cars worldwide. Right. So what kind of vehicles should we be expecting from Volvo? Because see, in India, while your luxury segment is known to the select luxury people, most people think Volvo as buses. Mm-hmm. It's the Volvo bus. And it's what's going to take them from one city to the other. How do you break that perception or build on that perception? Perhaps we don't want to break that perception, or we'll try to find out where we can have synergies with Volvo buses. Mm-hmm. Volvo buses in India has been very successful, and we try to build on their experiences from what has been successful for them. But that is to say that the person who is traveling with the bus perhaps would not be our 100% target customer. Exactly. So we'll just have to target in a smart way, clever way, our target segment. And both the segments come under you in India? No, just cars. Volvo cars and buses, they're separate companies. The separate companies. Is there any production that Volvo is doing in India today? No, for cars we're not producing any cars. No, it's all CBUs. So in that case you must be a little upset about the budget in India, where there has been an increase in sports utility vehicle prices. Well, that comes into a segment where it's above $40,000, and if it's a more than 3 liters engine or 2.5 on a diesel.
Okay.
And we don't fall into that category, so we have not been affected on that increase in customs duties.
Okay. So what new vehicles should we be expecting from you? What new cars are coming through from Volvo in the future?
We will be introducing a new car for India, for the Indian market, in the beginning of next year. But I cannot tell you too much more about it.
Do we know whether it's a large car or a small car or a sedan or an SUV?
I know.
Can our viewers know?
No, not this time. Not this time. But until, let's say, Q4, perhaps the end of this year, we will slowly come up with some more information about that.
But what is your goal as a person in the automotive sector for the past 18 years? Where do you see yourself going in the business?
I could see myself personally to be, we'll see in due time, to be the CEO for the world.
Wow, that's wonderful. And that's a big ambition to hold. Do you think emerging markets will be the next big frontier for Volvo worldwide, and they will be the big contributor? You said India percentage-wise will be the biggest mover in the entire Volvo space.
Yeah. India and China will be the biggest growth markets for Volvo cars, and also taking to consideration Russia and Brazil, and all of these are from emerging markets. So there will be a huge contribution for Volvo cars globally.
How did you start at Volvo? You've been there for about 18 years.
Yes. It all started a little bit due to my father, because he was a retired diplomat now, and he got a job in Turkey. So I was studying university in Turkey for 4 years in Ankara, and I met at that time my girlfriend Shebnam. And my parents left in '93, and at that time I still had a year left in my university. And after my university I decided to stay in order to be with my girlfriend. And then I actually wrote a letter to all the Swedish companies and asked for employment. Okay. And that is how I started with Volvo Cars in Istanbul.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. And that would have also then been a relatively upcoming country all the years ago.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So it's certainly an opportunity for most people. So let's talk about the domestic market in a little more detail. Give me a sense of what kind of states or cities drive Volvo's business in the country today.
We have been in the last couple of, well, since the summer you would say, the best performing market within us in India has actually been Hyderabad.
That should be surprising.
Yeah, it's a smaller city, but they're doing quite a good success story at that moment in Hyderabad. But I also see that Mumbai and Delhi are, of course, the biggest markets for the luxury segment. They're also very much growing. And I would see that they would take over in terms of volumes and sales.
If there's one unique selling point that Volvo had, which its competition in Audi or BMW did not, what would it be?
Definitely would be safety, was always one of it. But it's not only safety, we have so many other things to talk about as well.
I know, because people in cars love style, for example.
For sure. So I mean, our complete new cars have complete new designs. They look a lot more sexier, not so boxy as they used to be.
Yeah.
Very safe cars, we will never let that go. We have very powerful engines, so very nice and enjoyment of driving the cars. The cars are designed around the driver himself or herself. So the cars are designed around you, so it makes it how easy for you to drive, feel comfortable on the road, and of course in a safe way.
That's right. So, you know, in the Indian market today, if you look at the aggressive players, we all know that BMW has been around for some time. Mercedes and BMW are neck to neck. Audi comes after that. It's a crowded market, even in the luxury space. And yet players like yourself are saying we'll grow at 50%.
Not so crowded yet. I think you will have more luxury brands coming into India actually, and the market is actually growing at a very much faster pace than the rest of the world. Last year I think the luxury segment was around 24,000 cars. This year that's going to go to around 30,000 cars. Until year 2020 we'll see around 150,000 cars in the luxury segment in India.
Yeah. And
that is just tremendous growth. And
I think, you know, all you large players internationally have suffered a global crisis and are coming out of it. Is there a renewed strategy after that crisis? Because during the crisis, most players, including Volvo, put a freeze on their plans for the future.
Yeah, we had a couple of freezing plans, that's correct, yeah. But since last year, we have a new CEO, and it's a complete new focus with our new owners. and Volvo worldwide globally is also aiming very high.
Okay.
So we're going for 800,000 cars plus by year 2020.
So India will add to the percentage, but not necessarily to the absolute numbers.
No, to the absolute as well, of course. 20,000 cars is a big amount.
It's a big amount.
Yes, of course it is.
Indeed. What car do you drive yourself? What model of Volvo?
Whatever is available in the company, I like them all. So I really don't mind which one I drive, as long as it's a Volvo car.
Oh yeah, so is it compulsory for people at Volvo to drive Volvos?
Not if you have a company car, yes, then we have Volvo cars, yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But have you ever driven a car that or have you ever liked a car that's been from the competitor's stable and not yours?
Oh yes, oh yes.
And you're going to tell us which one?
Yeah, definitely would be the Porsche Carrera.
Oh, of course, why not? It's a beautiful car, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thomas, good shots and bad shots are all part of life. If there was anything about your career that you would like to change, what would you pick?
Oh, difficult question. I don't think I would like to change, because I think I'm being 18 years with Volvo. I'm still very hungry for the company. I still feel very motivated. I feel very proud to work for such a great organization. So I don't think I would like to change anything as such, because
about being part of Volvo.
No, I don't. No, I feel very good, very happy with.
What would you like to achieve in your game of golf?
Actually, today I have a handicap of 22, and to go down in handicaps perhaps is not the best or the biggest thing for me. It's more to have fun and go out and meet more people.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Great. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you.